High in the branches of a mango tree, a crow named Chiku lived a quiet life. His mother built their nest to be a fortress of warmth, tucked away from the predators roaming the forest floor. But Chiku was restless. To him, the safety of the nest felt like a cage of invisibility, and he grew tired of watching the world move on without him. He peered into a single raindrop to examine his reflection. All he saw was a flat, unbroken black, a shade he found dull and entirely unremarkable compared to the life he saw below. While other birds were celebrated for their vibrant patterns, Chiku felt hidden by his own skin, convinced that no one would ever stop to admire a creature so plain. Ignoring his mother's warnings, he spread his wings and left the safety of the mango tree, determined to find out how to trade his shadows for something more beautiful. Chiku was trading the security of his home for the hope that a new appearance would finally give him the validation he felt he was missing. He landed in a guava tree and found a parrot whose feathers were a vivid green, accented by a bright red beak. The bird was impossible to miss against the brown bark. Chiku expressed his envy, but the parrot quickly shook his head. He claimed his own colors were common and pointed Chiku toward the lake to find a higher form of elegance. At the edge of the water, Chiku found a swan gliding across the surface. She was pure white, her reflection shimmering in the deep blue of the lake. To Chiku, she looked like royalty. Her presence on the water was so striking that he couldn't imagine a more perfect way to be seen. But the swan revealed a heavy truth. Her bright feathers made her a constant target. She had to stay far out on the water, away from people, because her beauty made her too valuable to be left alone. Visible perfection attracts attention, and being constantly watched creates a burden that the swan was forced to carry every day. Still seeking more, Chiku followed the swan's directions deep into the dark, tangled heart of the forest. There, he found a peacock. When she spread her wings, it was the most vivid display of color Chiku had ever seen. A massive fan of blues, greens, and purple. Chiku was mesmerized. He believed he had finally found the one creature the entire forest was built to admire. He approached the bird and asked for the secret to achieving such a striking and noticeable presence. Before the peacock could speak, a sharp snap echoed from the bushes. The peaceful silence of the forest was suddenly gone. The more a creature stands out, the more it becomes a potential prize for anyone watching from the shadows. A hunter emerged from the brush with his bow drawn. He didn't look at the trees or the sky. His eyes were fixed entirely on the peacock's shimmering feathers. Panicked, the peacock tried to flee, but her long, heavy tail became tangled in the dense vines. Her beauty was now a physical trap, keeping her pinned in the hunter's sight. An arrow whistled through the air, narrowly missing her wings as she struggled to break free. Chiku realized that while the peacock was in mortal danger, the hunter hadn't even noticed him. His dark feathers allowed him to disappear into the background. Chiku dived from his perch. He became a dark blur, screaming and flapping directly at the hunter's face to break his concentration. Startled by the sudden attack, the hunter tripped over a thick root. He fell hard, and his bow snapped against the ground, ruined. The traits that Chiku had viewed as flaws were the very tools that allowed him to strike without being seen. The hunter retreated into the trees, angry and empty-handed. The forest fell quiet as the peacock stood shivering, her feathers ruffled and torn. She looked at Chiku and admitted that his dark, unremarkable feathers were the only reason both of them were still alive. Chiku realized his black feathers functioned as a natural armor, keeping him hidden and safe when the forest became dangerous. He flew back to the mango tree, feeling a sense of relief he hadn't felt when he first left the nest. When he reached his mother, he told her he no longer wanted rainbow feathers. He was finally comfortable in his own skin. Real confidence isn't found in trying to match someone else's highlight reel. It's found in understanding the protection and power of exactly who you are.